Welcome to Fleet Auto News Podcast. Today I'm speaking with Gus Belanszky, General Manager of Hino's Service and Customer Support. We're going to focus our talk on telematics and its future in trucking. Hino recently announced it's offering a telematics system as a standard in its new heavy-duty Series 700 trucks. That intrigued me. Maybe Hino doesn't think of itself as just a business selling trucks. Maybe it thinks it's in the business of providing its customers with transport solutions in the safest, most efficient way. Let's ask Gus. Welcome, Gus. And is that right? Hino is more holistic than thinking of itself as a truck seller?
Yeah, thanks, Carol. Thanks for having me today. It's really good to be on the podcast. And look, it is an exciting time for Hino. It'll be great to have a chat today about Hino Connect. We do see ourselves as more than just a company that sells trucks. We do look at having solutions for our customers to ensure that they operate their trucks efficiently and reduce downtime and reduce their operating costs as much as we can.
So I'm curious, what inspired you to offer free telematics, what you're calling Hino Connect, as a standard feature on your new 700 series trucks?
Yeah, so look, I think we've had telematics available as an accessory for a little while now. Back in 2016, we launched an initial product called Hino Track. The thing is that we've seen that this digital space has really been changing, and a lot of customers, are using that information that they can get out of their vehicles. So, with the technology that we've got at the moment, with the smart systems in our vehicle, we just saw it as a really good opportunity to introduce telematics as a standard feature to allow them to have access to that data in their vehicles.
I guess it's a great way to sort of introduce telematics to those drivers and fleet operators that don't already have it, of which there are many. What are your thoughts there? Sorry, yeah.
That's all right. I think it is. I think the heavy end of the market is probably the area that does have, I suppose, the most experience in telematics, or those that have used it before. So we thought that's really the area we would target. So that they're the sort of customers that will, utilise that data to improve their business more.
Yeah, in preparing for this interview, I was looking back over a story I wrote based on a study of telematics use in Australia by ACA Research. They found only 1% of the 460,000 fleets operating in Australia are using telematics. It beggars belief, really, but, because the benefits of data and analysing the data have been shown to be so profound. So there's a lot of learning to be done and teaching to be done. How are Hino customers, and particularly those ordering the new Hino 700 series, responding to the Hino Connect offer?
Yeah, so it's only really early days. The product was only officially launched for wholesale a few weeks ago, back on the 16th of August. But initial interest has been really high. We transitioned our current Hino Track customers across to the Hino Connect portal, and the feedback on that was that it was very easy to use, easy to understand the data. But we find that, it's obviously our major fleet customers. There's a lot of major fleet customers that currently do have some form of telematics in their fleet, and we've been getting that a lot with those customers, that's something they want in their vehicles.
But, I appreciate that some of the most sophisticated users of telematics in Australia are the big national transport fleet operators. And I guess some of them, as you've said, are your customers. So how do they get advantage of having Hino Connect if they've already got a system, or will the Hino Connect be integrated with their existing systems?
Yep. So there's probably a couple of things that we've looked at doing there. We do understand that there are multi-brand fleets, as many of those major nationals are. So what we can do for those customers is we can provide the data out of our hardware. So we can give them an API, which is a application programming interface, which gives them all of the data that they would get in their, let's call it their generic or their aftermarket telematics unit. But the advantage that we've really got is that because it is a factory fitted unit, we have access to a lot more data from the vehicle. Not only can we get things like engine speed, RPM, temperatures, brake application, sort of things that you would normally see from a telematics system, but we can also get information on diagnostic trouble codes and even some of our safety devices and when they're activated. And the data that we get from the truck is accurate. So we've worked directly with the engineers in Japan. System was developed locally by one of our partners in Directed Electronics, and it's like I said, it's accurate data, it's good data, and it's data that other providers cannot get out of their vehicles, out of our vehicles. Sorry. One of the main benefits for that for major fleet companies is, it does allow them to really look at driver behaviour and the performance of their drive safety point of view, but even from a vehicle utilisation point of view. So there's a lot of really good information that we're able to get out of the truck that a generic telematics provider wouldn't be able to access.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you what some of the key features of Hino Connect were, and I guess and you've sort of answered that. I thought it might be good for you to have a word on how this data and analysing this data can help improve the profitability of a company. I mean, we know that it's going to improve safety and, there's a lot out there already about the driver monitoring and how that can, gamify driver behaviour and that can improve safety. But what about how it can help with the profitability of a company?
Yeah. So one of the sections of our Hino Connect portal, we've got a really good user-friendly analytics tool, and it looks at cause and effect of a whole raft of items. But obviously, one of the key costs for a fleet is fuel. So you can drill down and you can do analysis on the fuel from the whole fleet. You can drill down to individual trucks, does forecasting, those sort of things. From a maintenance point of view, there's obviously a maintenance reminder section there that will let customers know when their vehicles are due for servicing to try and reduce the downtime and allow them to plan ahead with what they're doing. Another really, really interesting feature that we've got on the system now is what we call Asset Trail. And what that does, it allows a fleet owner to select several vehicles. So let's say, as an example, they've got a fleet of 5 trucks that drive out to Western Sydney each day. The next day, they can go into the Asset Trail section and overlay those 5 vehicles and see, where they've gone and is there any room for improving the efficiency. So maybe some of these vehicles are doing deliveries, but they're crossing over each other into each other's area. So it allows fleet operators to then look at that and, I suppose, reallocate where their fleet are going to try and reduce those inefficiencies.
Let's talk now about the future of telematics as a standard offering in vehicles and maybe not just Hino vehicles. Like, I'm thinking about a line I keep coming across. I don't know if it's apocryphal or not, but that a new vehicle today is more complicated than a rocket bound for outer space. Can you talk about sort of that idea of telematics really and data being standard in a vehicle?
Yeah, look, I think vehicles are definitely heading that way. From when I originally started back in the industry through to now, the amount of ECUs and computers in vehicles, it's just a totally different world. But it probably comes back to what I was saying earlier, that manufacturers will be the ones that are fitting these units to the vehicles, because we're the only ones that can get access to all of the data and read all of these different systems that are in the vehicle, to get that information to the customer. And the companies like some of the other aftermarket telematics providers will probably be more like a customer to us, where we'll be providing the data to them, that they can then put into their dashboards if that's what the customer wants to do. But it really does complexity of the vehicles, and you need to have that direct access with in our case, the engineers over in Japan, to be able to interpret and read that data, and make sure that what we're getting out of the vehicles is accurate.
Are there any other key features of the Hino Connect that we should sort of talk about before we move on?
Yeah, look, probably another really key feature is our ability to do case management for our customers. So Hino Connect, it's a bit unique, and it allows us to communicate with the drivers directly through an intelligent multimedia unit. So what I mean, in the instance of a fault with the vehicle, a severe fault that renders that vehicle, disables it or puts it into a limp mode, a notification will be sent to the multimedia unit in the truck for the driver with a call to action, which would generally be to call our roadside assist to organise a repair. And we've also got dedicated Connect specialists in Australia in our call centre, who will then oversee that repair from a case management point of view, and be in regular contact with the dealer to make sure the repair is progressing, but also be a point of contact for the fleet customer or the owner of the vehicle, in case they have any questions about the repair as it progresses.
Okay, cool. Has Hino offered telematics as a standard in any other range of vehicle anywhere else in the world, or is this a test that may get rolled out worldwide in the future?
No, telematics is standard fit in several countries with Hino around the world. The US has had a product now for many, many years. Japan have telematics in some of their domestic vehicles. And some of the countries over in Asia also have standard fit telematics as well.
Well, thanks so much for speaking with us today, Gus. It's genius, I think, to offer telematics as standard on some of your latest trucks. It gives those not using it yet a way to start doing so, and for Hino another reason, I guess, for them to stick with you. Again, thanks for your time today, Gus.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me. It's been great.